Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today, I am going to have a guest speaker on, and I want to tell you a little bit about this young lady. She is young and beautiful, and she's had some adversities happen in her life. However, I have never seen such an upbeat person. Every time I ask her how she is, she'll say, fantastic. But nevertheless, I'm going to ask her a few questions and ask her to share with you how she keeps such a positive attitude, such a good outlook on life. She's truly a breath of fresh air. With that being said, I'm proud to introduce my friend, Olivia. Okay, hi Olivia. The first question is, could you tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to where you are right now? But we'll break this question up. First of all, could you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Hi, Lynette. Okay, a little bit about my journey is I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in March 2002, and it has been a long journey, still going, but a long journey. I was living in Hawaii at the time, and I knew something was going on. I was getting vertigo and was falling out of nowhere, and my aunt had asked me, "What's wrong with you? Why are you so tired all the time?" And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with me.
Let's talk about your journey with MS. Okay, you started out, you got your diagnosis. How did you feel about that diagnosis?
I felt like, oh my God, I don't want to be a Jerry's kid. Meaning I thought I was Jerry Lewis. That's muscular dystrophy and not MS. I felt it was like the end of the world.
Right, and then you started having more symptoms, which made you make changes.
Yes, I was having more symptoms. Yes, I had to change my diet. I was searching everywhere for answers. My friend had told me about going vegan, so I went vegan for a while.
Well, I wanted to ask you this. So you ended up ultimately coming back home and moving in with your mother.
Yes.
So you went from the walker to a wheelchair?
Yes, I had actually, my progression was from a cane to a walker to a scooter and then to a wheelchair. And that was a difficult transition. It was just like, oh my gosh. I couldn't see myself not walking. I was not focused on not walking.
Well, let me ask you this. You know what they say, every cloud has a silver lining. And you're one of the most positive people I've ever met. I know that's not always easy. I know we all have our meltdowns. But you shared with me the other day how you felt about yourself before your diagnosis and how you actually felt better about yourself after your diagnosis. Could you elaborate on that a little more?
Yes, I sure can. I had never felt beautiful internally or externally. Never saw myself that way. Not until I got in the wheelchair. For whatever reason, it would just, I don't know, I guess through therapy, God, I felt beautiful, and physically I felt like, you know what, I just was coming into my own. Honestly, because spiritually, I found that okayness, that I was going to be okay, that God had my back. I felt beautiful. For the first time in my life, I could look in the mirror and say, you know what, Liv, I love you, and I believe it was because of God, the good Lord. Because without Him, I don't think I ever saw the beauty within myself. Funny until I got in the wheelchair.
It is funny how that happens. And I always revert to a country song that Tim McGraw did and says, live like you are dying. If we could learn that when we're still able-bodied, I think we would enjoy life a lot more. But something about when life devastates you, you do tend to look at things differently.
Yes.
In spite of what you're going through, though, you are still one of the most positive people I've ever met. You tell us, how do you do that, Olivia? You know, it's so easy to get into a pity party. And like I said, I know we all have our meltdowns. But could you tell us how you became so positive?
I revert back to the good Lord. With Him being in my life, that's given me comfort and strength, inner strength. And I think that's why I'm so positive, and because I look to Him as through my strength. And I just wanted to share that with everybody I meet. And I'm not going to lie, some days are better than others.
Yeah, you're only human.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It'd be crazy if you didn't feel that way, really.
Thanks. But yes, that's where I gravitate. That's why I figure we're on this earth, as the good Lord said, to help our brother and sister. If I can make somebody smile through my positivity, I love making people smile. I really do.
Now, when you are positive, and like I said, I know when you're alone, you have your meltdown. Does the positive attitude come naturally, or did you or do you have to work at changing your thoughts? I mean, it's easy to jump to a negative thought and then you spin it around and make it a positive. Or does that happen naturally with you?
No, I do have to spin my thoughts sometimes. Sometimes it comes naturally, you know. But I think a lot of it, like I always say, I'm fabulous. I love that word, fabulous. But I started saying it because the more you say it just makes you feel happy instead of saying, oh, I'm fine. You know, that's what everybody goes to, oh, I'm fine. But if you say fabulous, it's like it just changes your whole attitude. It kind of switches your thought process, your attitude, your feeling, your life, how you look at things.
I understand what you're trying to say. You know that saying, you are what you think. Some people say you are what you eat.
Yes.
We are what we think. And I personally think those positive thoughts initially don't always come automatically. But if you turn it around enough, and I used to write down my negative thoughts, and then underneath I'd write the positive. Then my brain actually started to work in that way. I would imagine by talking it and saying it is confirming it also, until pretty soon it becomes your way of life.
It's like you trick your brain. So the more you say, oh, I'm feeling fabulous, oh, I'm feeling fabulous, the more you believe it, the more it becomes part of your being. So yeah, initially your question is, no, I don't always feel, good or positive about things or feel fabulous, but yeah, I guess I just look at life. I just always try to be more positive.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And for those of you that don't know Olivia, she is beautiful inside and out.
Thank you, Lynette.
And I want to thank you for coming and sharing with us today. You're really an inspiration.
And if we can just love and give each other smiles, that'll be fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, I want to thank Olivia for coming and sharing. And I will talk to you next week. But I want to remind you, when you give your gratitude, when you say your prayers of gratitude, remember the small things. That God has blessed you with legs to walk, with a mouth to talk, ears to hear. Because it's not until you walk in those shoes that you realize how we take for granted the little things that we're blessed with. So when you give your gratitude prayer, start with that, because in the big picture, when it's taken from you in a blink of an eye, it's amazing the gifts that we are blessed with that we just take for granted. And I want you to really give that some thought and thank God for what you have. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.